Hi everybody, Fran here at New Testament Explained. This is the final video in a series of 4 that looks at the I am sayings that come together and make Anthology 3 if you are studying Edexcel A-Level Religious Studies. The final I am saying that we are looking at is I am the true vine, and as always I'm going to cover the context, background, interpretations and symbolism. So starting by putting this passage into context. This is the final of the 7 I am sayings in John's Gospel and forms part of Jesus' farewell discourse. The vine and the branches are a metaphor for the love between Jesus and his followers. In terms of the background of this I am saying, vines were an important crop in the 1st century. Vines in Palestine were long and grew along the ground with many branches. Both Jews and Romans enjoyed wine, especially given that water was unhygienic. Romans had a god of wine called Bacchus, and wine also featured in the Jewish Passover festival, where 4 cups of wine were drunk and a 5th cup of wine was left for the Messiah. Beyond that, we see imagery of vines appear in the Old Testament. For example, in Isaiah chapter 5 verse 2, God was seen as the gardener caring for the vine. In Psalms 80 verse 8, there is a reference to the vine being taken out of Egypt and planted in Israel, linking the vine to the people of Israel. And finally, in Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 21, the people failed to follow God's commandment and the vine became corrupt. So we see not only references in the Old Testament, but relevance to the world of the 1st century. And you could bring in a synoptic link to topic 1.2, particularly Roman occupation, if you are studying Edexcel A-Level Religious Studies. In terms of how we can interpret this Bible passage and this I am saying, what's really important is that the I am saying is I am the true vine. And the word true is particularly important because it separates Jesus from the Israel of the past that was described as the vine. Also, Jesus identified himself as the real source of the Passover celebration, and that gives a sense of irony then to the fact that the 5th cup of wine was left for the Messiah when Jesus was already in attendance. In this passage, Jesus warns that being a disciple is not a guarantee of eternal life. It is through belief in Jesus that his followers' faith will grow. They are warned that if they fail to remain in him, John chapter 15 verse 5, there will be judgment, not salvation. This passage can be considered an example of replacement theology. There is no other way to God except remaining in Jesus. Those that believe in him would replace the people of Israel and they would continue preaching the good news. Finally, the fruitfulness shown through love compares against the justice and righteousness the prophets speak of. The call here is to love one another, and this is the same type of love that Jesus is showing by giving up his life. In terms of symbolism, the scholar John Marsh has suggested that sacramental overtones can be seen in the symbolism of the vine. The discourse is set within the context of the Last Supper, and so the vine can be linked to the wine of the Eucharist. That then ends my video on the final I am saying in Anthology 3. Thank you for watching, and as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.